Hi, this is Sri Priya Madan from Srishti Technology Labs. In this session, let us learn how to create a constructor. Constructors are used to initialize instance variables. Let us see this using a working example. Select your package, right click, new class. Let me give the name as book. Select public static void main, click finish. Declare instance variables for this book. String, title, author, in price. Now inside public static void main, let me create a book object. Book is equal to new book. The next step is to initialize the instance variable. In the previous examples, we have used the dot operator to initialize the instance variables. If you see here, there is a round bracket. The moment the compiler sees this round bracket, it checks whether you have created a constructor. We have not created any constructor. In the previous examples also, we have not created any constructor, but we have created objects. If the constructor is not created by us, it will be created by the compiler. That is, the Java compiler will create the constructor for the corresponding class if you have not created your own constructor. Now, for this class, let me create the constructor. The constructor has the same name as that of the class name. It doesn't have any return type. Let me create a constructor. This is the constructor. Inside this constructor, let me initialize the instance variables. Now you can see that I have initialized the instance variables. To print these values, let me create a method. Have println statements inside this. Call this method in public static void main using the dot operator. Save this file. Let me run this. You can see book title Java in 30 days, author Tom, price 1000. Now I am trying to create one more object. Book1 is equal to new book. This object also calls the same constructor what you have given here. Because it is not having any parameters, directly it will go to this constructor. The values are initialized with the same values as that of the previous object. When you try to print the values of book1, it will have the same values as that of the previous object. So, to give different values for different objects, use parameterized constructor. How to create parameterized constructor? It is very simple. Whatever parameters you want, you will have to pass it inside the constructor. So string, for name I am passing it as n, string author I am passing it as a, and for price I am passing it as p. For this instance variable title, I am assigning this value n. For this instance variable author, I am assigning the value a. For the instance variable price, I am assigning the value p. So the local variables n, a and p are assigned to the instance variables. After assigning the values to the instance variables, let me come to the main method. In the main method, you can see that you are getting a compiler error. Why? The moment you create a parameterized constructor in book class, the compiler will not create a default constructor. A default constructor is one which is not having any parameters. Since there is no constructor which is matching this bracket, it gives you a compiler error. So let me modify this book object so that it matches the constructor in the book class. Let me add 3 arguments for that. Now the error is gone. Let me modify the second object also similar to that. Let me save this file now and run the application. You can see with the help of a parameterized constructor, each object is taking its own values what you are passing within the brackets. Suppose say if I create one more object without any parameters, since there is no default constructor, it is giving me a compiler error. Let me modify the book class by adding a default constructor. I have created a default constructor and assign values to my instance variables. Let me try calling this object. Let me save this file and run the application. You can see the output now. The book class is having two constructors, one with 3 parameters, one is a default constructor. I am having 3 objects which are calling the corresponding constructor and printing the values. So the values are totally different for each object. Suppose, say my book object is taking only the book name as parameter. What happens? Let me modify this book1 object. It is taking only the title of the book as parameter. You can see that I am getting a compiler error. The reason is the Java compiler searches for a constructor which takes string as parameter. Since you don't have this particular constructor in the book class, it gives you a compiler error. Let me try to add a constructor which takes only book name as parameter. Let me initialize title with this name. The value is initialized. Now if I run this application, what will be the output for book1 object? Title will be JSP. What about author and price? Since author and price are not initialized, they will take the default values null and 0. Let us check this out. Run the application. You can see for the second book object, it is printing the title as JSP, author is null, price is 0. In this example, we have created 3 constructors now which takes different parameters. In this constructor, I am using the local variable names as n, a and p. Suppose if my local variable name is also same as that of the instance variable name, what will be the scenario? What will be the output? In the next session, we are going to deal with this. We are going to learn if the local variable name and the instance variable name are same, what will be the effect on the instance variable? Thank you.